Today is an interesting day in Holy Week. It's Saturday, and it's a day marked by silence. Jesus is dead. The disciples and those who loved him are heartbroken, crushed, defeated, weeping, overcome that the one who they thought was God's beloved Son, God's chosen one, the Messiah, has been killed like a common criminal. They're frightened. They're worried about themselves and what might happen to them. But what about Jesus? What happened to him? Well, today I want to direct your attention to the end of Matthew 27 and verses 57 to 61 and the burial of Jesus, and specifically verses 59 and 60. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn in the rock. He then rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb and went away. It's interesting that in all four of the Gospels that we meet Joseph of Arimathea. Matthew tells us he was a disciple of Jesus. And obviously the tradition of Joseph providing the tomb where Jesus is buried is significant and strong enough that it's mentioned in all four of the Gospels. And I often think about Joseph of Arimathea and how he must have felt and what he was willing to do in providing and asking for the body of Jesus, first of all, and then being willing to be associated with him by having him buried in his own new tomb. It's interesting that we don't hear about Joseph before the burial of Jesus. And there can be all kinds of reasons for that. But I often wonder, was Joseph not public about his discipleship? Did people not know he was a disciple until now? And it's sad sometimes when we may be hesitant to let people know we're a follower of Jesus. In the aftermath of Jesus' crucifixion, you can understand why some people would be hesitant or fearful. And yet it's at that moment, after Jesus has died, when Joseph is willing to be associated with Jesus. On a lighter note, as we look ahead to Easter Sunday tomorrow, because we have the benefit of knowing how the story ends, I often wonder about Joseph of Arimathea going to his wife and saying, you know that new expensive tomb we had hewn out of the rock? Well, we're not going to use it. I'm going to have Jesus buried there. And I can hear his wife starting to protest and to object. And then I can hear Joseph saying, don't worry, it's only for a few days. I'll see you tomorrow on Easter morning.